Hello, whistlers everywhere. So today I'm going to do a tune breakdown of a hornpipe. Not done a hornpipe, so this is a one which is called The Rights of Man. It's a very well-known hornpipe, played all over the world. Hornpipes can be played with a bounce, almost like a dotted feel, but usually this hornpipe and a few others are played fairly straight. So I'm going to play it and show you how to do it in sort of a fairly straight way. You can play it with a dotted rhythm, and people do play it, but I've kind of learnt it more of a straight, flat way of playing this hornpipe. Which is often the case with this and a few other hornpipes. So this is a tune called The Rights of Man. And as usual, I'm going to play it through without any ornamentation at all. And then when I get to the second version, we'll add some cuts. And then finally, I'll talk about adding some variation to keep things interesting. So this is The Rights of Man. As you can see, I've still got this wonderful, glorious beard, but not for much longer. It's probably going to go at the end of the month. And as I mentioned before, I'm raising some money for a veterans charity, which I do some work for. And the money which is going to be raised is going to go to veterans here in the UK to help support them. So a very worthwhile cause. So, The Rights of Man. So here is The Right of Man, no ornamentation and just played through. Again, as usual, I'm only going to articulate with the tongue after I've taken a breath. The rest is just going to be played fingers only articulation. So here we go. So 1, 2, 3. So at the end there, I was separating those two E's just with tonguing, but we're going to use cuts. So this next version, I'm going to slow things down a bit after playing through without any ornamentation. So I'm going to slow things down a bit, go through it bar by bar. And at first, we're just going to add a few cuts in relevant places. Okay, so I'm going to add a few cuts to this version, and then once I've done that, added some basic ornamentation, I'm going to talk a bit about variation. There's lots of things you can do with this hornpipe. So anyway, let's start with the most basic version and adding a few cuts. So we start on an anacrusis, so that's just on a beat before the first beat of the bar. So I'm going to cut that B in the first bar. But just that B, none of the others need to be cut. So bar 2. Cutting the B again. So first 2 bars. Okay, so leading on to the third bar, we've got E and F, and I'm going to cut the G in the third bar. Just that high G. So again. And then the fourth bar, last bar on the first line. Cut the A. And then we'll start that two notes to lead us into the next phrase. So first line. Okay, so leading on to the second line. So we're going to cut the B. So just the first B in the first bar on the second line. So and then same thing with the second bar, we're going to cut the B. High G in the next bar. And then separate the two E's at the end with cuts. Okay, so let's do that second half again. Okay, let's put the whole of the A part together. Again, just adding those cuts. Okay, so that's the A part with cuts. Okay, let's have a look at adding some cuts to the B part now. So again, we're starting on a little anacrusis. Now, on the first bar of the third line, I cut both high Bs. If you don't like that, you can just cut the first one. Or the way I did it. So same thing with bar 2. So I'll play it with just cutting the first B first time around, and then I'll play it by cutting both high Bs the second time. So and now cut both high Bs. Okay. So the next section. So there I cut the F in the third bar. And then on the last bar, cut the higher A, and then cut the high A again. So the whole of that line. Okay, last line. So I cut the G in that bar again. Okay, so the second bar on the last line, I'm going to cut the high B, cut the high A, and cut the G. So we've got 3 cuts. So we've got cut B, G, cut A, F, cut G, F, E, F. Gives it a nice sort of attack on those high notes. So those 2 bars on the last line. And then the last 2 bars, cut the high G. And then we're cutting that bottom G there. Right, so I'm going to play the whole tune now, just with those cuts that we added. So that's the version of the Rights of Man as exactly as the written version. However, there's a lot of variations you can add to this to make things more interesting. So the next version I'll do, I'll walk you through some variations that I like to use. You may want to try them, give them a go and see how you get on. Okay, so the home ruler with some variations. Sorry, not the home rule. I don't know what I'm talking about here. The Rights of Man with some variations. Okay, so right from the very beginning, what I like to do is to put the bar at the beginning of the second line into the first line. And the reason being, I'm going to do something different with the bar in the second line. So we're just mixing things up a little bit here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So all I've done is substituted the first bar on the second line and added it to the first bar on the first line. So instead of playing, I'm playing and then the second bar. Now you can cut that note or you can put a short roll on it. So with the short roll, so the next bit. Again, you can put a short roll on the A, or you could go and then take a breath. So you're just leaving a little pause. So I'll show you both ways. So the first line. Now with the long roll and with the breath. Right, now this is where the fun starts on the second line. So we're going to do a series of running triplets. So what's written is this. But now what we're going to do is B, C, B, A, B, A, G, A, G, F, G, F as triplets. So as written, now with those triplets. And again, you can put a short roll on that, or you could turn it into a long roll and miss the E out and just go straight to the F. So again, it's up to you. If you like it, use it. So those first two bars on the second line with the triplets. Now with the extended B, I'm just going straight to the F. Last two bars. I like to put a little trill on that bit. Or you could go and do a slide up from the F sharp to the G. Or so yeah, try a few things out with that. Okay, I'm going to play the whole of the A part. First time around, as it's written, just with the cut. Second time around, I'm going to add the variations. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's see what we can do for some variations on the B part. Okay, so let's have a look at the first two bars with the pickup GA bit. So that was when we added those cuts at the beginning. What we can do is we can turn the into a long roll. So we could go again. And same thing with the second group. So if we put that together, or we can do something, we can do a nice little slide. So there, I'm just sliding, I'm turning that, missing out the A, and just turning that into a crotchet or a quarter note and sliding it up. So I'm going. Or you could combine the two things and do a slide on the first and a long roll on the second. Okay, so bars 3 and 4 on the third line. So there, as written. Now on this, I'm turning that into a long roll. So instead of going, I'm going, and just substituting that for a long roll. So as written. Now with the long roll substitution. And then the last bar. So there we're just adding the cuts, but we can turn the cut into a short roll on that high A. Or, like we did before, we can do a long roll on the A and then miss out the little F sharp and just use it as a breath. To bring us to the next bar. So that third line with the variation. Or that last bar. So on that high A, instead of doing a long roll, you can do a short roll and put those G and F sharp in there at the end. It's up to you how you want to do it. Both ways work, so you can use both or either or neither. Okay, so the last bar, the last line, first bar of the last line. So here we have. Now, if you want, you can do a long roll on the E and a long roll on the G. Or you could just do a long roll on the E. Or you could do a long roll on the G. Again, it's up to you. You can vary it. You can do one on one and then play the other as written. Or you could do it both. So I'll do them both just to show you. So. And then the next bar, going up to the high B. So as written, it's. So we were putting cuts on the B, the A, and the G. So we can go. We can triplet them all. Or we could just triplet the first two. Or just the first one. So again, the choice is yours. You can add all three triplets, add two triplets, add one triplet, or you could mix it up and go. Again, it's personal taste. So just have a go, play around with them and see which you like. And then the last bit. You can put that little trill. Or you can put that slide. Or you can just do a long slide and hold that G. Okay, let me play the second half now with those variations. So like the first part, I'm going to play it through straight just with the cuts. And then the second time, I'm going to add the variations. And again, try them out. 1, 2, 3. Now with the variation. Now with the second variations. And the last time I went E, D, E. Just another little variation you can add at the end. Okay, so what I'm going to do is play the whole tune with a click, probably set fairly slowly. So I'm going to play it all the way through. So the first time I'm going to play it, I'm just going to play it through with the cuts. And then the second time, I'm going to add those variations which we've run through. Right, I've set my click to 80. And so what I'm going to do with each repeat, first time I'm going to play it as written. Second time I'm going to play it with variations. So I'll play it through twice and I'll do the same thing. So watch out for the variations. It's not too quick, so you should be able to pick this up. What I can do is I can do a very slow version after this one, just to help people just to remember and have a look where the ornamentation is going. So at first I'm going to do it at 80. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now the second part. Okay, so here's a version 20 beats slower at 60. So again, just watch out for the ornaments and watch out for which notes I'm cutting on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So that's the breakdown for the home ruler. Hope you found it useful. Like anything else, ornamentation is entirely up to you. Where you put cuts in, where you put rolls in, where you put any kind of variation in. As I've mentioned on previous videos, it's personal preference. It's up to you. If you like to play a simple, unornamented version, then that's absolutely fine too. Ornaments, yes, like anything else, you can overdo them, as I mentioned previously. So always add them to your own personal taste. And if you like something, use it. And if you don't, then it's absolutely fine to leave it out. So I hope you found this tune breakdown of the Rights of Man, not the home ruler, as I've said. So if you have, if you could give my channel a like and subscribe. And if you know of any whistlers or budding whistlers who may be interested, if you could send them a link to the Whistleblowers YouTube channel, hopefully they will find that helpful. Again, if there's any questions you have on this tune or any other tunes or any aspects of whistle playing, I'm happy to answer each and every question. So if you would like to leave a question in the comments, or you can even email me at ben@benwalker.org if you've got anything that needs to be answered, which maybe is a bit more lengthy, or to answer it on YouTube, which maybe isn't quite as appropriate as it would be for an email. So yeah, happy to do that. Okay, folks, so happy whistling and goodbye from me until next time.